Alright, hello everyone, welcome on in. So, December starts, and we're going to start with Betrayal of Krondor, which is a game I've played before. Played it when it came out, many years ago. Actually, one of the first RPGs I beat, not the first RPG, but it is the first Windows RPG that I beat. Well, not Windows, say DOS RPG. But yeah, I beat Dragon Warrior 1 and Final Fantasy 1 when it came out. Those were like the two first RPGs I beat. But yeah, Betrayal of Krondor definitely has a special place in my heart. There is an interesting story I have about this game. I'll make a mention of it once we get to the part where it happens, which I think is like chapter 3 or chapter 4. We'll explain it then. But yeah, this is RPG. Very unique. It's kind of a 3D-ish sort of game. And lots of dialogue in this game as well. Not as much as in Virtuaverse, but still going to be lots of dialogue in between chapters. So we will be doing a lot of talking here. And of course there's lots of stuff in the manual, which we will be going over. There's a big introduction for the author of the books that this game is based on. And then of course it has the plot summary thing as well. And of course, you see the directions and who all the characters are and what all the items do and all that fun stuff. We'll be skimming through the manual. We won't be reading everything. We'll skim through the manual. We'll read the introduction and the plot. And we'll skim through the directions because I sort of remember most of how everything works. And of course, this has good MIDI music, so we'll be playing with that. And there is a mod I installed for this. Because originally, like most games back in those days, you could either use Sound Blaster or you could use MIDI. You could not use both. So you couldn't use MIDI for music and Sound Blaster for like effects and voice. There's a mod that allows you to do both in this game. So yeah, we'll see how well it works out. I did test the beginning part. It seemed to work good. So you hear the brief voice acting. There's not much voice acting in this game, but there are some effects, obviously. So we have a mod for that. So we'll be doing Betrayal of Krondor today and tomorrow at about 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And then during the week we will play non-RPGs. So we'll be starting off with Battle Chess 4000. And that will be at 6 p.m. Eastern. So I might either A, play both Battle Chess games back to back, or split them up depending on how long it takes to beat it. I know the original Battle Chess is kind of difficult. I do know the rules of chess, but I don't know the strategies of chess. So, yeah, even if you know the rules inside and out, the strategy is something very important to the game. If you don't have strategy, you're pretty much going to lose if you're playing on, even on the lowest difficulty setting. Yeah. So we'll be playing, what else will we play? We'll be playing, we're playing Flashback, we'll be playing System Shock, we'll be playing Blakestone, Aliens of Gold, and of course Betrayal of Krondor will be the only RPG. And this will probably take me between 60 and 80 hours probably to beat it. So yeah, we'll do RPGs usually Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. So yeah. And then I'm off between Christmas and New Year's. So we'll see how far we get with the list of games. So more than likely going to be playing more Betrayal of Krondor between Christmas and New Year's. But we'll see how far we get on the everything else category of the list of games that we have set up for that. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, welcome to stream Jimmy Colorado and the Conic Dude. Good to see you both. Hope you have a good day at work. And you can catch the VOD or catch me tomorrow. I'll be streaming at the same time. I'll be mostly probably reading the manual today. There'll be a little bit of gameplay, but probably not too much because there's a lot in the manual. And speaking of the manual, let's go to the manual, right? And let's get started. So let's go. We'll swap to the scene here. And we'll get the manual up here. Go ahead, and if you can't, if my voice is not loud enough, or if it's not louder than the music, just let me know. I can adjust the volume. But it should be good for most of the music tracks that we have playing. Yeah, so now we have the introduction by Raymond Feist, or Feist, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. Yeah, he has a large collection of books. I believe he's still alive. I have not actually read any of his books, but it's on my list of books to read. Currently reading through the Death Gate cycle by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. I'm on like book 2 of I think 7. So I have his books on my list, so I'll eventually get to read his books. So we'll be going over the designer notes. And then a lot of this other stuff is just obviously the manual, actual manual. You got the people, creatures, and a little section about the Riftwar Saga, which is what the game is based off of. We'll be reading that section, and then of course you got all the credits, the customer service stuff, and all that good stuff. So let us go get into it. Betrayal of Krondor. Introduction by Raymond E. Feist. I love games. This is a little kid in me who refuses to grow up. The very same child who plays Let's Pretend all day in his office and gets paid for it. I write highly improbable stories about people who find themselves living in a very unusual landscape. A world populated by fantastic creatures, ancient magics, and rogues and villains of all stripe. I wasted hours in front of computers playing games when I should have been working, like most every one of you. My first encounter with the computer game was the infamous Adventure. I played on university's computer when I should have been typing runtime exercises for my class in programming. Rather than work, I'd sit up all night at the computer center facing the green alien screen of flickering TTY terminal, trying to find whatever city item I needed to get to the next room. Well, I'd find another city item I needed somewhere else. And like most of you, every once in a while you think, why can't these games be more like a good fantasy adventure novel? But games are one thing, books are another, right? Seemed that way for years. Computer role-playing was either a glorified arcade game with names of fantasy characters hung on the computer graphics with no other relationships to the literary work it was based upon. There's a lot of that with the Dragonlance games. Or it was a basic fantasy role-playing game run by a computer. Kick down the door, kill something, get treasure, go up in power, get better at kicking down doors, killing things, and getting treasure. And so you go to the next level where the doors are harder to break down and monsters are tougher and the treasures are harder to find. After a while, it's pretty much the same. Then over the last few years, some folks introduced problem solving. Sure, you still have to kill a lot of ugly buglies to get the wand of chaos, but once you got it, you can defeat the evil wizard Wardface and save the kingdom. Still a pretty pale imitation of good fantasy novel, right? But then folks added more colorful graphics and pretty pictures and sounds and animation, and it's still pretty basic stuff for the most part. By their nature, books and games ask you to do two different things. A book asks you to fasten your seatbelt while the author takes you for a ride. A game asks you to participate in and make decisions. Given the nature of computers today, no matter how fast they evolve, there's still a limit to the amount of information you can put in a computer on your desktop, while the author of a novel can take you any place and show you anything. I have an unlimited special effects budget when I work, and I don't have to fret over memory size or how fast the CPU the computer runs. The mind is still the best computer for dreaming up wonders. So, when John Krondor and the folks at Dynamix said they wanted to design a game that felt like one of your books, I said, right. With knowing wink and a nod, but being polite, I listened and we talked some more. Now you're about to experience the result of those talks. Games can never be like books, but this new game, Betrayal at Krondor, is as close as I've seen to a game get. How they do it, Dynamix put a lot of thought into doing more than drawing up nice characters on the screen and giving them names from books as they jump over trolls and duck fire blasts from wizards. They have more here than a simple arcade game or a simple fantasy game. They put time and energy into saying, what if the player was going on to act as the character of the new book? Or want to take place after a doctor's at Tethanon. Dynamix didn't just license the game, they playing character names or generic icons to call it a riff war game. They spent hours talking to me and all manner of things in a heartfelt attempt to get it right. The object of the exercise was always to be the first computer game that felt like it was part of a good adventure novel, which is what this game evolved into being. You possess what will be, I hope, the first in the series of games that I believe reflect the feeling of my work just as much as possible in the game. When you cross paths with Prince Arthur or Jimmy in Lockville, they act pretty much as I expect them to act, and we have decided to do what's next. They react to choice pretty much as I would expect. When you travel across the map of the kingdom, it's pretty much the same map as you find in the books. I felt pride and satisfaction that I was the author Dynamix chose to include in this project. With my work with the model of which these beautiful works of computer fiction are based. I thank everyone at Dynamix for thinking highly enough of my fiction. I thank everyone at Dynamix for thinking highly enough for my original words to want to do it, and for listening to me when I put in my 2 cents worth. For those of you familiar with my novels, I think you're going to recognize the landscape for you who haven't read any of my work. I hope you enjoyed this visit enough to want to read some of my work upon which it was based. So quit reading this and go play the game. Enjoy your visit to hercxena. About the author, Raymond E. Feist was born in Los Angeles in 1945 and has lived most of his adult life in Southern California. He entered higher education a bit later than usual and graduated from the University of California, San Diego in 1977. Feist made his first publishing history with his epic novel Magician, which was later split into 2 novels, Magician Apprentice and Magician Master. These were followed up by his best-selling novels Silverthorn, A Darkness at Tethanon, and Prince of Blood, all featuring the twin fantasy world of Macadema and Calawan. He also co-authored a series of books with Jenny Wurtz, featuring the deadly Turani culture and Daughter of the Empire, Servant of the Empire, and Mistress of the Empire. Feist now writes full-time and resides in San Diego, California. Alright, designer notes. While I've been an enthusiastic fan of role-playing games for a number of years, I was never a big fan of the popular fantasy literature. Novels I looked at seemed to be more than romanticized versions of Tolkien's classic Middle-earth tales. Then I picked up a copy of Magician Apprentice by Raymond E. Feist. Here was a book filled with marvelous images of incredible worlds, a real emphasis on character development, political intrigue, and military tactics and strategies. It was obvious to me there was a potential for a great game here. Heck, 100 great games. I called Ray's agent the next day. Ray was fantastic to work with. He consulted us tirelessly, answering questions and offering suggestions and advice. Together, we were determined to create a new story, an interactive computer adventure that would feel like a new Rift War book. We decided the game should be an interactive story. Characters would be multidimensional and capable of stirring the player's emotions. The story would be carefully plotted with lots of surprises, a good mix of humor and pathos, and an abundant amount of mystery and foreshadowing to keep the player intrigued. Balancing the play against plot is the most confounding job any game designer can face on a fantasy role-playing game. In Betrayal at Krondor, we have integrated a plot so that it provides ample gaming opportunities, while giving the player a sense of time, place, and purpose. This is achieved by making an on-screen map available to the player at all times, and creating short-term goals and 9 chapters in the game, which give us a unique opportunity to tell a progressive story that still gives the player plenty of freedom to explore and adventure without being confined to a scripted plot. Next, we built a tactical combat game with detailed character interaction, and an elaborate magical system to please the most demanding fantasy role-playing gamers. The end result is that we are proud to create a new fulfilling direction for fantasy role-playing entertainment, and we look forward to creating future installments of our Rift War legacy. We think you will look forward to playing them. John Cuttle. Alright, lots of talking here. Gameplay. Betrayal of Krondor is an entirely new story based on the best-selling Rift War novels by Raymond E. Price, and is the first serious attempt to present an interactive fantasy story divided into chapters like a book. Gameplay within each of these 9 unique chapters is totally non-linear. You have a goal that you must be accomplished before you can see the rest of the story, but how that goal is accomplished is entirely up to you. There's no time limit, so if you want to roam around the world talking to characters, killing monsters, and finding treasure, that's fine. In fact, at the beginning of the game, this strategy may even be necessary to help you and your party prepare for increasingly fierce opponents as you head south to Krondor. That is a very, very, very big hint. And as you will find out, and I'll explain when we start the game up. Each chapter contains a number of unique characters and monsters, even though you don't necessarily need to face the dangers that Dimwood foils in Chapter 1. There's nothing to prevent you from going there, and you'll find a new set of monsters if you choose to return there in Chapter 2. Another hint. It's almost like having more than 9 different games for the price of one. Like a book, the characters you are playing or reading about will change, leave, and reappear based on the chapter. Yeah, so you get different party members based on what chapter you're in. I didn't even realize that there were different monsters in the same place. Alright. Obviously not completely open world, because there will be some areas that will be blocked off for you visiting, as you will see. But chapter 1, you can spend quite a bit of time exploring. The purpose of this session is to give an overview of game commands and functions. You will find installation of system-specific controls on the Betrayal of Krondor quick reference card. Getting around the game. Betrayal of Krondor is driven by a point-and-click interface. Blah blah blah. Left mouse is reaction. Right is to examine or read and read text. Note there are many places in the game where you can use the right mouse button to read online help text. If you're not sure what a particular item does, try clicking on it with the right mouse button to display a brief description. Alright, after opening animation, the main menu appears. Either press the mouse button or spacebar to skip the opening animation or skip to the next page in the dialogue scene. The spacebar will skip. Alright, we can start a new game, we can restore a game. You can save your game via bookmarks. You can use preferences. We'll go over that. I'll show you how I have mine set up when we get into the game. Tone size. And then detail, obviously putting a high, maximum rather. And then obviously it gives you a list of the chapters. You can actually go back to the chapter and rewatch the intros. You got the travel screen. You got your characters, and then you have your action buttons on the right hand side. Compass. And any spells that you may have running at the top. You can actually follow the road, which is generally a bad idea unless you're just trying to get from point A to point B. Because this game, you want to explore, pretty much explore everything in the game. If you want to find the treasure chest and other goodies and quests and stuff like that. Alright, you can cast spells. Alright, so cast button, spell casting screen. This screen will not be available until the spell caster on the party. This is spells appear on the right. Magic symbols appear on the bottom of the screen. It can be selected to access groups of spells. Within the group, within the circle of the left is one up to 4 magical symbols, which usually neatly divided the circular region in a number of small segments. Each segment contains one unique glyph for each spell, known by the caster. Moving the cursor over these glyphs will display a description of the spell in the parchment area of the right. Yeah, so you can have spells in each of these glyphs, and then you see this ring around here. You can, depending upon how high you go, will be stronger the spell. And the stronger the spell, the more stamina and health it will require of the magic user. The display spell, left mouse button is spell can be casted in a range of how stamina points if done around here. We highlighted blah blah blah. Summon up at the top. You camp, rest. You can rest. There's day and night cycles in this game. Generally, you want to sleep at night. It's harder to see at night, obviously. And it's hard to gain all your health out in the countryside, so you can gain it. I believe you can gain all your health back in the countryside, but it can require a lot more food. You have food there. You're also going to be watch out when you get rations that not all of them are poisoned. Because you can get poison rations and you get the normal rations. And if you wait long enough, the rations will get poisoned due to food going bad. You get to zoom in and zoom out. Main menu. Nothing in full map. You can see the whole map here. You can display, it'll show you like all the towns and stuff if you put your mouse over it. Your bookmark is kind of like a quick save. So if you just want to quickly save and then go to the battle, you can do that. And then of course you can actually make hard saves, so you can make go in and save. I usually don't use quick saves, but it's there if you want to use it. Of course, you can talk to other characters, and then you have your keywords. So if you talk to characters, you get new keywords. You can go back to other characters that you talk to and see what they have to say about that keyword. And then you have ratings and skills. To examine the skills and rating characters in your party, by clicking on the desired character's globe, display the rating and skills of each character. The skill displayed in red indicates that the skill level has changed since you last viewed it. The only way to gain more skills is to use it. The more time you use the skill, the better it gets. There's no such thing as XP. It's basically more you use a skill, the better you'll get at it. So there's all kinds of skills. You have defense, accuracy with the crossbow, melee, casting, assessment, armor craft, weapon craft, barding. You can actually get a bard. Haggling, get cheaper goods. Lockpicking, which is going to be important in this game. And scouting and stealth are also actually important in this game. If you don't want the enemies to get a surprise attack, you better have scouting. If you want to surprise enemies, you need to have good stealth. So yeah, kind of all these skills are important. It's obviously going to be the ones you want to focus on the most. So you can select, I think, up to 3 of these skills that will gain more points. We can change them at any time, so you can kind of cheese it a little bit. If you know you have a lockpick, you can change the skill briefly to unlock it. Alright, let's ban you. There we go. Alright. Alright, health and stamina. So your physical condition. So once your stamina has been depleted, his health goes down. And if he drops down to 0, he's critically injured. Yeah, the lower your health is, your chance to hit drops. Yeah, so basically once your health starts dropping, your ability to hit the enemies and do damage will drop. Alright, and then of course, if you hit the enemy, your chance to hit goes up for the next time you attack. You got defense, obviously. If you create good chance of missing, and there's also a strategy if you defend, and then defend one turn, and then you go to attack the next round, you have a greater chance of hitting the enemy as well. Bows I found not very useful in this game. The farther away the bow is, the less chance you have to hit the enemy, obviously. Casting accuracy. This only affects if you have ranged spells. You have shooting fireballs at enemies and stuff. Assessment. This combat skill affects how much information we gather by a character when using the assess option during combat. While studying an opponent's movement, you might determine a particular foe is very quick or very slow. You might notice a limp or see your favorite one side is bright over the other due to an injury. Some of the things we learn in this way will be more valuable than others. The higher the assessment skill, the more information will be displayed. This information is displayed through an opponent's rating. I actually never used the assessment skill when I played it before. Interesting. Okay. I wonder, I bet you this takes a whole round, which is why I probably didn't use it. And weapon craft, so yeah, you have weapon and armor craft, which you can use to repair weapons and armor. You can actually go pretty crazy with weapon craft and armor craft. And waste a lot of time building up that skill. You get money for being a bard. I believe there's only one character, or maybe 2 characters in this game that you can actually bard with. They'll actually give you decent money. Yeah, you gotta find a practice so you can practice the skill by carrying inventory and selecting it. You can do that, and then rest and then do it some more, and keep doing it until your skill gets high enough. And haggling, you can lower the price of items. You find better prices in larger cities and towns. Yeah, not all shopkeepers are haggle, but if you select this button, you can attempt to get the price item reduced by haggling with the shopkeeper. Your chances of success are based on the haggle scale of the character attempting to purchase the item. Be Be careful, if the attempt is unsuccessful, the shopkeeper may get angry and refuse to sell you the item at all. Lock picking. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Scouting. Detect enemy ambushes. And stealth. You can sneak past the enemy. I think there are several instances where you have to sneak past the enemy. I think there's some parts where you have an infinite enemy response. It's always based off the worst party member. You know, with one with like 90, and another one with 70, and another one with 30. It can be based on the 30%. Fairy chest is ears of corn. Threw me from my way, but when I spied its lock, I cried. For an answer, I would pay. In the kingdom of Owl, the farmer will occasionally stumble upon a strange locked chest in the field. Folk myths contend that these are fairy chests containing items lost by individuals who somehow displease Baneth. They are actually boxes with traveling Wardell to pass messages back and forth. Most kingdom couriers refuse to travel in the lawless Northland and will not venture past the Krondor Path or Cutter's Gap. In peacetime, these locked chests contain only messages and harmless scribblings between mercenaries. When hostilities flare up in the kingdom, however, they'll often use a secret highway to pass weapons, communicate, poisons, and other items of intrigue. Wardell chest possesses wordlock, a series of small cylinders on which have been inscribed letters of the Wardell alphabet. Once the letters on the cylinders are rotated to form a pre-designated word. This is accomplished by moving the mouse up the letter and clicking on with the left mouse button. The chests in the box are automatically sprung. Most of these chests have a steel plate inscribed in Wardell to fix them a puzzle-like rhyme. So the forgetful couriers can still make the appointed round. This Wardell clue might read, Prince Athua, from his lofty perch, will find our truth without a search. His men will fall his castle too, and then what will Prince Athua do? He will die. Most citizens admit the existence of these boxes hearsay. There are a few scattered scholars who have been known to point travelers to sites of these boxes to be found. The weak clue plays someone in the party must be able to read Wardell. Yeah, so not everybody in the party can read Wardell, as you will find out. I do believe there is a spell that allows you to read Wardell. I'll read it and I think also speak it. Inventory. So examining items, you can view the base damage, accuracy, armor mod, and active mods. So armor mod represents the percentage of base damage being deflected by a particular armor type. And the active mod, the combat modifiers that are currently affecting the weapon. Resistances. Yeah, so you can actually get your armor blessed at the temple. It'll give you some resistance. Can get you resistances and some other neat stuff. If your item is blessed, the type of blessing will be displayed here. And the racial mod, the weapon and armor designed for a particular race will not be quite as effective when used as a member of a different race. Yeah, so you got weapons and armor that are for specific races. So you get characters from a couple of different races. I don't remember how many races exactly we will have in our party. I know there's at least 2, but there's probably more than that. Alright, you can obviously place your weapons and armor in the slot. And you'll find keys. They all automatically pull together. The key to that inventory spot, as you can see in this picture here, you have a limited inventory. So once this fills up, you cannot carry anymore. And armor takes obviously a lot more inventory space than rations, for example. And you have bags to drop off items you don't want anymore. You can pick items, pick up dead bodies, holes in the ground, and bags. You can actually dig holes in the ground in certain places to find additional treasures and all kinds of fun stuff that we will find out when we play the game. You can give inventory items as well. Opening locks. This is pretty self-explanatory. Each character in the game will automatically consume 1 ration per day. Each ration represents 1 day of food, so the character with 7 rations will be fine for 1 week before he starts to lose health and stamina due to hunger. Note, if you transfer a pack of rations to a starving character, it will be eaten immediately rather than at the end of the day. Okay? Your broadsword, meant for hacking, not particularly effective for lunging. Due to its weight, it is a damaging but none too accurate of a weapon. Medium crossbow, the standard issue weapon for Macedemian archers, is fairly accurate and powerful. A bowstring can be light or medium crossbows when the bowstrings break. It cannot be used on the heavy crossbow. Drop the bowstring on the crossbow to use. Silver thorn is easily recognizable due to the distinctive silver thorns on a rose-like stem. It is corpulent red berry. It is deadly but detestable general-purpose poison and especially well suited for treating weapons. Each berry may be used for 1 application. You have naphtha. It's highly flammable. Applied to a sword blade, it can cause extensive flame damage to an opponent. You got the lightning staff. You got the glory hand. When used in conjunction with the Night Finger spell, allows the user to magically steal almost any item from combat opponent. Then it crumbles to dust. You got the Infinity Pool, an ancient artifact used by magicians to magnify the effects of any combat spell they cast. At first glance, it seems like an ordinary pendant. Round, leather cord, brass catches a small globe, but closer inspection of the interior reveals thousands of scarlet points of light. The Bessie Mala, the heaviest of the Macedemian crossbows, also the strongest available to be put in the dent, even the toughest armors. The power of the Bessie Mala brings it with some sacrifice and accuracy. An Elven Quill, this Elven crossbow loaded special accuracy modifier makes it enormously accurate and long range. Considered one of the best loads to have with a crossbow in any make, the Elven Quill is particularly effective if used with an Elven crossbow. We have the Mordor Lamprey. Favorite weapon of the Mordor Raider, this blade edge is composed of a series of mini blades useful for both sawing and slicing. A branch or club with oil-soaked rag, torches may be used indoors or outdoors. Gallon Griefmaker. This elven blade is effectively compromised between weight and accuracy. Highly accurate, it is weighted in such a way that it can be used either to hack or stab, but especially effective when swung. Like a mortal lamprey that followed it, the Griefmaker has small teeth for song. You know, herbal pack for healing. You know, weed walkers, increase your stealth. You got restoratives, picklocks, and wheatstones for improving weapons, armors, hammers, improving armor, and rations for food. You have initiative. Combat is turn-based. You can thrust the sword or staff. So swinging a sword or staff requires a great deal of concentration and balance. You must be in position before these options will be available. This means the character must be lined up vertically or horizontally with the opponent while steering no more than 1 step away. Swinging with higher characters lowering their stamina, however, health will not be affected. traps. Yeah, one character just need to pass through the trap. You don't have to get all your characters to the traps, you just need to get one. And then you have a fire crossbow. Spell casting. It means you step one step away from your nearest opponent. And some spells obviously need to be in line of sight. Some spells require special items. For example, Knife Fingers can only be cast if the magician has a glory hand in his inventory. Retreat option. Not all battles are able to be retreated from. Defend. Assess an opponent. And you can actually rest during combat. Auto combat option as well. And you can revive characters after combat, but they'll be extremely weak. And they'll have a whole other status when they die and come back to life. And it takes a hell of a long time for them to recover. Even if you have healing items, it takes a lot of healing items to bring up a character back up to full health. So generally speaking, you don't want to really die unless it's a really tough fight. Some swords are better suited to swinging, others may be balanced for thrusting. The current condition of the character, the condition of weapons, and the class of weapon being used. And if the weapon has been blessed by the gods of the local temple. And you can find objects to help increase the damage caused by the weapons. So you get poisoned, flaming, a frosted sword. You get 2 different types of critical enhancement. I don't think the stuff is you can put more than one on. You can only have one of these, I believe. No, note, objects and poisons exist that will make your armor resistant to many of these special enhancements. Strategy tip: the enemy cannot swing their weapons unless they are close enough to do so. Keep that in mind if you move a character's position or choose a thrusting attack. You'll be open to a swing maneuver on the opponent's next turn. If possible, try to stay at least one step away and let your opponent come to you. Yeah, each fight in the game has a crossbow accuracy skill, which in conjunction with the distance character from the opponent will determine the likelihood of successful strike. Other things affect its accuracy as well, such as the position of the character, a jump character, for example, have significantly harder time using a crossbow, the condition, and the accuracy of the load. Be extremely careful when targeting enemy opponents. Each crossbow shots are very unpredictable and can easily strike a character in your party who is nearby. The damage is by crossbow type and condition and amount of damage associated with the type of crow loaded. Strategy tip: you can view accuracy and damage information for each type of quill you possess by choosing a load and targeting an enemy. Information about your current load will appear in the message window. Repeat the process to view information about other loads. This should help you choose the best load for a current combat situation. Choose this option with the enemy about to attack. Another advantage of this option is successfully parrying a blow will sometimes leave the opponent open for a melee attack for the next turn. The effectiveness of this attack will be slightly greater than normal. With time, you'll recognize many differences in enemy intelligence and motivations. For example, you'll find some opponents will attack recklessly while others will be more cautious. Soften the rest before stepping back into the fray. A group of Mordell will happen across the characters while on routine patrol will be more likely to retreat once injured than a Mordell party assigned to protect a strategic path through the mountains. If you determine which character the enemy party is the leader, go after him first. If he is killed or chased away, the rest of the party will be much more likely to retreat. We want to kill everybody. So we don't want to attack the leader. Some enemy parties will include a leader, archer, and possibly a spellcaster too. Spellcasters, in addition to casting offensive spells, are particularly dangerous because they can also use their powers to heal injured comrades. Almost every opponent you'll come across has a weakness of some kind. Find this weakness and exploit it. Many opponents will also resist to certain things. A giant spider, for example, will have a natural resistance to some poisons as they are substances manufactured by its own body. Poison will affect characters much more severely during combat than they are really traveling. Magic. Alright, nothing, the lesser path is usually seen as the person involved in the craft of magic, while the greater path is seen as the path of scholars. This is partially incorrect, as those who follow the lesser path possess a great deal of knowledge about the nature of magic. But it's generally true that the lesser path is the talent, while the greater path is associated with scholarship. Lesser path magicians approach to education much more rooted in a ritualistic manner than those in the greater path. At one time it was believed the greater path and lesser path power could not be combined, but Pug, the most powerful magician in academia, proved that it was possible to use the lesser path skill to learn as a young magician in academia and the greater path skill to learn as an adult. Pug now teaches both lesser and greater path magic at his academy at Stardock. Alright, you have your spells. You can healing, you can pass your you can take damage yourself and heal somebody else, so it's not that useful. Except for in specific situations where you're about to die. If you want to go through any of these spells, if you can get information about that in the game, you can always refer back to this if you need to, as well. This spell must be cast on a dead Nighthawk or Black Slayer. This is the final blessing from the Limitless Karga that allows a humanoid creature to return to the door nest. If not cast, and there are other Black Slayers in the immediate area, the dead hawks become Black Slayers. You can enter houses and buildings. This is pretty much self-explanatory. The temple to allow you to teleport. But I think it's a visit the temple first. And I believe the different factions of temples you can teleport, but I don't think you can mix them. I could be wrong about that. It could be that there's just one set of temples that allow you to teleport. Don't remember exactly. Okay, Krondor, which is I think is the capital city of this area, so we one of the first places to visit. Well, I should say one of the first places we'll visit, but one of the first main locations we'll be visiting. The palace, you've got the sewers, the vaults, Romney, Black Sheep Tavern, Fletcher's Post, Stardock Annex, the High Castle, Saw is Bedania, Armageddon, Temple of Otorus, Satanon, and Lifestone Crater. And you got people and creatures. Senior James, what to know Jimmy the Hand. Senior James is the son of the upright man. The leader of the Thieves Guild in Krondor, though James is not aware of his heritage, elevated to the ability by Arutha. Senior James has taken the position of authority with a reluctance. Still wanders the old thief hunts in the sky. He's extremely loyal to Arutha and will do anything his liege lord asks him to do. With a cynical look that touches Jimmy's face when he's about to go to a new or strange situation. Although elevated to the position of Senior in Arutha's court, he is mischievous and has the air of rogue about him. Senior Locklear The youngest son of Baron of Landan, Locklear has been the constant friend of Jimmy to the boys. His mind is razor sharp and attributes that made him a valuable asset in Krondor. Although physically slower than Jimmy, he can usually defeat him in a rapier duel because of his shrewd combat strategies. Senor Locklear supports a healthy opinion year round as he often vacations near his father's land den. He's one of the finest swordsmen in academia. Owen the Balafort. Owen is the son of a minor noble in the Eastern Kingdom, but has spared most of the treacherous politicking that occurs in other courts. Although he displays his ability of magic while he was young, his father insisted yoking him to the responsibility of the court. His two older brothers, Deval and Robin. He's an extremely thin young man whose innocent blue eyes belie his age. Owen's magic is a force to be reckoned with. In many ways, he resembles the man he idolizes, Pug the magician. He's a magic user. Gorath looks menacing as Owen looks innocent. There is a haunting quality in his eyes that seem wolfish as he creatures on the run. A long scar nearly hidden by his hairline traces the left side of his face. And from temple to cheek, the son of a Mordor father and a human mother, Goliath wears a beard that's not possible for those of pure Elven and Mordor descent. He does, however, have the lobeless pointed ears typical of his kind. Makala, a man of remarkable intensity and great mental resources. Makala is one of the members of the Sarani Assembly of Magicians, an organization of magicians to which Pug belongs to while he was living in Kelawan. Since the Rift War, Malaka has been an avid student of war between the Tsari and the kingdom, spending a great deal of time visiting with Master Magician Pug, discussing historical and magical issues. Dressed in a mode of the Great One, the title which Tsari magicians are given, he always wears a voluminous black robe that hides his otherwise frail frame. Pug, orphaned at a young age, Pug was raised in the kitchen of Krondor in Western Empire. Present to Kugan, the magician, he showed little magical promise initially. Pug was captured and enslaved by the Sarari during the Rift War. Seeing the potential boy and great ones in the Sarari Empire began to train him in the magic of the greater path. When Pug returned to Macadamia, he helped bring an end to the Rift War with the help of Marcos the Black. He was adopted into the royal family and awarded the land and began his academy of magic at Stardock. His irresistible friendliness and belies the fact that he is unchallenged master of magic in Macadamia. Pug is the father of two, an adopted daughter, Gamia, who also possesses telepathic powers, and William, his natural son. Patrius. Before the days of Pug's Academy of Magician and Stardock, Patrius was busy in the buzzing question of his young apprentices. Now he finds himself without students. In fact, that bothers him more than he cares to admit. Too proud to seek scholars of position in the academy, he spends much of his time locked in the tower in Northport, studying books he has borrowed from South. From time to time, he is called upon to work some minor magic or other, but few tasks truly challenge his abilities. Though Patrius seems idle-brained at times, he is numbered across the most capable magicians in Macadamia. Wrinkled as yesterday's laundry, his face is greatly expressive. Although he is balding, the sides of his head still foster white whips of hair, and his pointed chin is covered with haze of beard. He walks with a slight hunch, and still freely strive for days, and no problem keeping up with the younger companion. Hey there, identified flying pizza. Hey, you have his icon. Yeah, good old Patrius. Good old Patrius. Yeah, Patrius is an interesting character in this game, if I remember. Yeah, Delican, leader of the unified nations of the North. Delican was once one of Macadamia's few generals during the War of the Great Rising, with the Mordor made a bloody march to Sethanon. He has risen to great power by taking advantage of the disunity among his people following their humanity defeat. With his power, he terrorized various clans into joining him in another siege of Sethanon, telling his people that Remember, Dynamix is held captive by the Kingdom of the Isle. To this end, he has hired a band of mercenary magicians, dubbed the Sixth, to be his advisor. Help him to consolidate his power, all with arrayed in battle gear. His merciful temple is legendary, and his hatred for the chief rival to the throne is Sargoth, Goliath of the Andranian. Well regarded, the researcher among his brethren at the Abbey of Ishap of Sarth. Brother Mark has a knack for finding obscure scraps of information. While researching the mating habits of the coolie bird of Kilowan or the chess gambits of the ancient Kachian game masters, it is rare that he is unable to answer a visitor's question. He is warmly remembered by all who meet him as a man with a friendly smile and gentle eyes. Jubel Alien Lunk. Jubel is a cankerous dwarf who likes to mix it up with humans and elves from time to time. A veritable fixture on the mud blue Rio Inn, he can be found smoking his herbal pipe for hours while he chats about his old companion days. His left eye, scarred above and below, is covered by a milky white cataract through which he claims he can still see. Like the rest of his kin, he keeps his beard trimmed relatively close to his braided hair and becomes quite white. Duke Martin, a man of a few words, Duke Martin is always awkward in the presence of others. His narrow eyes seem strangely exotic, as if they could see through solid objects. His hands are elegant and well suited to pull the bowstring of his magnificent elven bow. He's always by his side. His hair is black and tied to a short ponytail. A formal ranger, Martin prefers to avoid strangers, but is often sought for his knowledge of scouting techniques. We can learn information from him if I remember correctly. Then we have the Sumani. We'll always find training under the Muchian corpse. Sumani remains much of his Sumari waiting to meal. When he smiles, he expresses somewhat enigmatic. You never know if he's truly pleased or not. His hair is black, streaks of silver beginning to appear. Most of his hair is shaved at the rear of his neck except for one knot-tail which he adorns with silver bells. Like many of the Savannah, he wears fur and multiple layers of wool as making him unforgivably cold in comparison to his home world of Kilowan. Thomas, though his basic nature is that of a man raised in the kitchens of Castle Creedy, Thomas is an individual of great power, a blue-eyed demon with sandy hair, features have changed throughout his contact with the terrible magic of the ancient Valhu, a race which once ruled all of Macadamia. His ears have become pointed to the elven fashion of his eyes, possess a thin blade elbow from which one cower in battle madness. He, in his mid-30s, and a consort to Queen Algarana the elves, it will take a very bold, a very stupid man to contradict Thomas face to face. And you have the Algarana, the Queen of the Elves. Algarana is often described as beautiful, though not entirely human. Her pale blue eyes seem almost luminous in certain lights. Her face is finely chiseled and high cheekbones, a strong jaw, and a full smile. A simple circlet of gold hangs full to her hair and reveals the marvelous upswept ears that are now the hallmark of her race. Although she is well over 200, Allegheny looks barely 20 in the legacy of her elven blood. She married the war leader Thomas, a pride, fiery woman, and a wise and much loved leader of her people. Catalan. Calm nature, intelligent, and the ability to deal with people tactfully has made her the natural leader of a diverse community of magic users in the family. A striking woman in her mid-30s with dark hair and large, dark eyes, she commands utmost respect and affection for those around her. Married to Pug, Carolina came from Kilowan, the home of the Solari people. Model. Distant relation to the elves, Model have darker skin, hair, and eyes and tend to be much more violent than their elven counterparts. Having been close to the Valhu in ancient times, they are warriors by nature as well as combat. Ordinary warriors just usually consist of a fur robe of bear or deerskin. Model typically wear brown trousers, open vest, and knee-length boots. Nighthawk. Nighthawks were a guild of assassins who have kept about academia for several centuries, but they've only truly organized themselves in the past 100 years. They dress for concealment under the cover of night, so they tend to an entirely black wardrobe. Nighthawks have been known to turn into Black Slayers. Black Slayers are undead zombie-like creatures and brought back to life by evil means. Once killed, they will continue to rise until the player casts the final rest spell on them. We have the Ruskalakai. Is the restless and often deadly spirit of a drowned girl that comes back to near the body of water when she dies. People are near, particularly young men. The rough guy will attempt to lure them close enough to kill them. As spiritists, the rough guy have an ethereal presence that feels semi-transparent. Usually take the form of a young girl with tendrils that seaweed dangling from her arms. Though usually pirates by trade, there are a few landlocked freebooters among the Creekans who enjoy traveling where their services can be offered. Typically young, these mercenaries copy the gregarious modes dressed in the Eastern Empire. Highly polished boots and red shafts that draped from the left shoulder to the right hip. The Black Panther would make up an unusual assembly. Yeah, Earthworm Jim. Giants look like very large humans. Got the trolls. Black Noor. These troublesome creatures live in the depths of caves and remain faring on the most exclusive of dwarves and the great towers. Their flesh remain without resembles crumbled blocks of stone, allowing them to lie back in small covers without attracting notice. Small flecks of gold in their skin help the lure dwarven miners be enough for attack. Although they have been known to attack almost any creature without provocation, they are quite broad and appear to have no eyes. The Rift War Saga, an overview of Raymond Feist's Rift War books. Friday lies in the westernmost duchy of the Kingdom of the Owl. Here, an orphan kitchen boy named Pug was made an apprentice magician. An indifferent student of magic, he nevertheless rose to the station and became a squire of the court. With his best friend Thomas, Pug discovered the wreckage of an alien vessel from Kilowan, a world dominated by the mighty empire of the Nori. After several of the Duke's men studied remains of the ship, they surmised it has come through a magical gate called the Rift-Feared Worships would follow, leaving his eldest son Liam behind. Duke Baraik and his son Arthur Athora lead a company of men to Krondor to warn Prince Erlen a possible attack. In the woods, they found themselves beset by the Model by virtually escaped to the relative safety of the Mac Modane Cadell, an ancient dwarven mine. During the trek through the Mac Modane's Cadell, Thomas became separated from the group and found one of the last of the Golden Dragons, ancient and near death. The dragon told of his life and his encounter with the strange sorcerer Marcos the Black. Dying, he left Thomas with the magical gift of golden armor that will forever change his life. When the anticipated Tsurai invasion came to pass, Boric took command of the armies of the West and rushed into battle. Realizing the importance of learning more about the magical rift, the Duke sent Pug into the Tsurai-held territory, but the boy magician fell captain and was taken to Kilowan. Enslaved by the Tsurai, Pug began a new life and fell in love with a girl named Katala, but was snatched away from his slave owner when he learned he knew something of the magic. Immediately he was taken by the assembly of magicians and began training in the greater path, a magic non-existent in Macchemia. Thomas matured into a warrior of stunning power, made so by his ancient armor once worn by a Valaru, a dragon lord. Little was known of the legendary first people of Macadamia, save they were cruel and powerful, and had kept the elves and Majel as slaves. Algarena, the elf queen, feared Thomas was being consumed by the power of the Ashen Sugar, an ancient dragon lord whose armor he wore. Rift War raging in the 9th year, Arutha feared they would lose in the struggle and went to Krondor to appeal help from the prince. Finding the city besieged, Arutha was captured by the Guild of Thieves and befriended by a young pickpocket named Kimmy the Hand. who would figure prominently in the future prince's life. Pug attended the Imperial Games at Kelowon, commencing the warlord's smashing victory over Lord Barak. Pug became enraged by the cruelty displayed at the games, especially at the brutal treatment of macadamia prisoners. In a fit of rage, he destroyed the arena, shaming the warlord and throwing the politics of empire into chaos. Pug then fled with Kalalana and his son William back to Mekimia. In Mekimia, war going badly for the Kingdom of the Isles, during the mad offensive against the Sarai. The king became mortally wounded and lacking an heir named Barak's eldest son, Liam, the successor to the throne, also making Aruta the prince of Krondor. Eventually, the Sarai and the kingdom sued for peace and brought the war to an end. But during the ceremony, Marcus the Black appeared and closed the rift between realms. In the process, he was assumed to be killed. All returned to the throne, Stone City of Rillanon for Liam's coronation to save Aruthia and Pug, who visited the isle where Marcus had lived. The servant of Marcus told him the sorcerers had destroyed the rift to avoid drawing attention to the enemy. A vast and terrible power known to the Saranai in ancient times, who could use the rift to find its way to Midkemia. For a year of peace reigned in the kingdom, but violence erupted once more as a member of the Nighthawk guild of assassins attempted to take Arutha's life. Having saved the prince's life, Jimmy the Hand was forced to leave the Markers and became a squire of the prince's court, where he met Squire Locklear. Despite the differences in their upbringing, they became lifelong friends and comrades in arms. Using Jimmy's knowledge of the seedier element of Krondor, the prince created a plan to capture his assassins, but when confronted, the most of them chose suicide rather than surrender. One captive, magically disguised Model, rose up from the dead and called upon his master, Myrmidamius, evil leader of the Model nations of the north. Alright, lots of text here. We should be almost done here though. Alarmed, Aruthia told his advisor the danger, but decided to proceed along the plans she wed Anita, daughter of the former Prince of Krondor. Unfortunately, a Makia assassin slipped into the wedding and made a second attempt to kill Aruthia. He struck the bride-to-be with an arrow tipped with a rare poison, Silverthorn. While on a quest to find the antidote to the deadly Silverthorn and save Anita's life, Arutha learned the Model was acting in a prophecy that would rise to power once the Lord of the West was dead. They believed Arutha was the Lord in question. Pug determined that the dark forces behind Myrmidamius' incredible power were Tzitziki origin. The enemy of the ancient terror mentioned by Marcus, the servant at the end of the Rift War, were attempting to find a way through the rift. In Alvendar, Thomas was reunited with the Pug, who told him that the surviving enemy was trying to find a way into Macadamia. Pug also said that Kelowon and Midkemia faced with the worst threats in the days of the Chaos Wars. He asked Thomas to come with him. Thomas agreed, using his special powers, summoned the dragon, Ryath, upon which fast they could travel between dimensions and times. Ryath took them to a being known as the Oracle of All, who informed them that only the Marcos the Black knew the answers they sought. In search of Marcos, they traveled to the city of the dead gods, where they discovered countless monuments. Thomas pointed out the gods in the city. They explained that originally Ishap had created hundreds of gods. Only 16 survived the insanity of the Chaos Wars, become the god of Midkemia. After he discovered yet another plot against his life, Aruthia staged his death to throw his enemies off track. While Krondor mistakenly mourned Aruthia, he headed north to kill Myrmidamius at the boundary between the kingdom and the territory of Myrmidamius. The party was taken captive by strangers. They were led to the most military impressive city that anyone I've ever seen, Arminger. They realized the city would be one of the first major targets that Myrmidamius would attack before heading into the kingdom. Pug and Thomas eventually found Marcus in the guard of the mysterious city forever, but also found themselves caught in a time trap set by the enemy who stripped Marcus of his power. They managed to outwit the enemy and broke free from the temporal confinement. At Armengur, Mama Damius attacked the city, realizing they would be unable to hold the citadel from the border hell. Aruta and the city's protector, Guy Du Bas Tyra, ordered the city burned in an effort to incinerate Damius' army. Unfortunately, the Model leader escaped, the city unscathed, and Aruta and the rest of the refugees headed for the High Castle, the next stop on Damius' path. And due to assist Prince Aruta, Pug, Termit, and Marcus passed through the Hall of the World, a place that gave them access to Midkemia. Terminus asked Marcos about the Valeru. In response, Marcos passed the hand over Terminus' eye. The Terminus began to remember a past life as the Dragon Lord. Years before, when Terminus had received the armor he inherited from the powers and minds of the Ashen Shigar, father of all the Valeru, who once ruled the land of Midkemia. Ashgar, like the rest of his kind, was continually at war. Every being that lived was one of the most powerful entities in the universe. Terminus and the Ashen Cigar shared a mind link that spanned centuries, both learning from the link and gaining qualities of the other. This was how Terminus has become the legendary warrior, and how Ashen Cigar learned the qualities of compassion. Eventually, the gods of Macadamia came into being, and the Valeru warred upon them. In the process, time and space between them warped. This was the time of the Chaos Wars, where the Valeru warred for thousands of different races and thousands of different worlds. Finally, one of the Valeru, Dakin and forged the tool to use in the war, the Lifestone, an item tied to all life in the world. Since gods were also tied to that life. The Valeru hoped to extinguish the gods with the Lifestone and escape to time, returning to later reclaim their world. Ashen Shigar would not allow this and slew the Dakin. Later, the Ashen Shigar grew old and tired, and its life essence drained into his armor, the armor that was given to Terminus. Macros explained that Macadamians would likely be swarming over High Castle on their way to Tethanon, the city built in the ancient site of the Lifestone. They realized the enemy was not a single entity, but was the combined rear of the ancient Valeru trying to come back and take Macadamia. At High Castle, the Model armies massed for the assault and Prince Aruta discerned part of the Model plan, though unaware of the goal, realizing that High Castle would easily be taken. He told the Baron to leave the castle, but the Baron insisted they could take anything the Model threw at them. The battle went terribly wrong, and the Baron was killed during the Model raid. The Prince was finally able to convince the surviving High Castle commander to quit the castle and head for Sethonen. Pug contacted his daughter Gamina and summoned the magician of his magical academy and the armies from Kilowan to meet him in Sethonen. Sethonen was under attack, and defenders attempted to hold out for the arrival of reinforcements, confronting Macadamians on the walls of the city. Aruta identified himself as the Model as the Lord of the West, knowing Macadamians was using his allegation to manipulate the will of his troops. Thomas, Macross, Pud, Aruta, and Ryath descended upon the Lifestone chamber far below the city. Macross informed him that if the Model reached the Lifestone, it would mean the end of all life on Midkemia. Macadamia strode through the bodies of the dead and drew the magic from death itself. Steeped in power, he decided that he was now strong enough. He abandoned his monstrous army and headed for the chamber of the Lifestone. Alright, need some more water here. Protected from a talisman from Marcos, Aruta began an incredible duel to death with Macadamius. Pug and Marcos tied close to hold the rift, as that enemy was attempting to open with the help of Macadamius. After a great effort, Aruta killed Macadamius in death. His true nature was revealed. He was not a Model, but a Pathanian snake priest, a race of beings dedicated to bringing their Valeru mistress, Alma Ladka, back into the world. With his death, Pug and Marcos felt a sudden surge of energy as the rift opened for a brief second, just long enough to let the ancient spirit of Draken Koran into the room. Thomas, Ashen Shigar intercepted Draken Koran as the evil Dragon Lord strode toward the Lifestone, and the two began a fearsome battle. Finally, when it seemed Draken was going to activate the Life Stone, Thomas killed him and drove his golden sword through the Valaru into the Life Stone. For a moment there was a brilliant sparkle in the sky as the ghostly forms of the Dragon Lords appeared, but their power wasn't equal to the powers of life that rejected them from the world. Suddenly, everyone in the area was struck by a sense of joy and happiness. The Dragon Lords were defeated. King Lion dispensed the titles and honors of heroes of Sethanon, while Pug and Thomas said in the lesson farewell to Marcos. Ryath was mortally injured in the battle, and Marcos placed the Oracle of Awe into the dragon's emptied mind and placed her in charge of the future defenses of the Life Stone. Slowly, the veterans of the war went their separate ways. Peace reigned. For 10 years, the kingdom prospered. Prince Arutha's twin sons, Barak and Orlan, grew into ambitious teenagers. Squire Jimmy matured, becoming a much respected seigneur of Krondor's court. Pug returned to the Academy of Magic at Stardock and began a program of information exchange with the Assembly of Magicians on Kellewan, though refusing information specific to the Battle of Sethanon. And Squire Locklear briefly entered military service under a daring garrison leader named Baron Moyayet, who watched the Model with unforgiving eye. His watch would not go unrewarded. Still bitter, outwitted his feet at Sethanon, the Model yearned, driven by belief that the kingdom had tricked them and imprisoned their leader, Remedamius. Battle raged between the rival clans who sought to control the future of Model. Those who had migrated from the Great Heart during the Rift War, trapped, or returned to their ancient forest but were captured or killed by various chieftains attempted to brutalize the clans in a fearful union. When at last a Model chieftain named Delican seized control of the ancient fortress Sargoth, he avowed revenge for the wrong done by the Model, as he unfurled the banner not seen for 10 years, the battle standard of Myrmidamius. War would soon follow. Okay, and of course we have our credits and special thanks. Betrayal Krondor is based on the Macedonian universe created by Macadamia Press and Raymond A. Price. Portions copyrighted by Raymond A. Price or Macadamia Press. Either is illegal to make unauthorized copies of this software. And then you have customer support, the software license agreement, blah blah blah. And we reached the end of the manual. It's one of the longer manuals I've done. So I guess it's time to start the game. So let's exit out of that. Yeah, that's we're gonna play an actual game here now. So let's pause that, and we're gonna start our adventure here. We're gonna watch this intro. If you really want to call it an intro. No, well, it's an intro, but it's basically credits with music. Oh, it's not showing up. Got to this part. Turn up the music a little bit. Should be better. Yeah, here we go. Let me let you guys watch the credits. I'm gonna get some more water. I'm gonna get some more water. But I'll be back here in about a minute. Alright. We're back. We'll finish watching the credits here. And then it just restarts. Oh, there's no Thunderbolt the second time through. Oh, there is. Oh, I guess I fixed that. Yeah, because originally when I did this, I would only do the thunder at the first time through, and then repeat it wouldn't do the thunder for some reason. Yeah, look at that! We already beat the game. Well, you missed it all. Actually, you didn't miss anything at all. You did not miss anything at all. We just got done reading the manual, which took about an hour and a half. So, yeah, we're getting ready to start the game. Welcome to stream the 100 player. And, Van Baffica, welcome in. Yeah, my throat is a little sore. I was talking for the last hour and a half. Alright, let's get started here. And we still have more dialogue. Yeah, this is true, there, Underplayer. This is true. Yeah, we are also playing this with the Sound Canvas VA. So with MIDI music and with Sound Blaster sound effects and voices. There's not much voice dialogue in this game, but there is some. But originally this game you can only play either play Sound Blaster music or MIDI, or you play Sound Blaster or MIDI. You could not do both. There is a mod that allows you to do both. For those of you who are curious. And that goes through the whole process of getting that to work. Yeah, the one downside to just playing the Sound Blaster music is in this game, like the battle music, it would not loop. So once the music track was over, which I think it was only a short loop, it would not repeat itself. While at the MIDI music, it will actually loop through. Any music will loop through. Yeah, just if you look at the our preferences here, so you can have the tone size. Turn off the CD music, because CD music will be Sound Blaster. And you would not use the MIDI music if you have the CD music on. So in this case, the MIDI music is better than the Sound Blaster music. Sound Blaster music sounds pretty much the same as the MIDI. Except for the Sound Blaster one does not repeat. Yeah. So it's good to have some good MIDI music. Alright, it also has a contents thing here if you're curious what this is. Basically goes through all your chapters. And we will not be finishing chapter 1 this weekend. First 2, maybe 3 chapters is going to take a while. We'll be doing a lot of exploring. Once we start exploring the whole world, it'll be much faster. Much faster to just hit the quest point that we need to do. Alright, let's go ahead. And we are going to begin a new game. Chapter 1, Into a Dark Night. Blood-soaked rag collected at the boy's feet. One by one, he tended the wincing soldier's purple wounds, stripped, salvaged, bandaged, did what little he could in the leaping golden halo of firelight. Fortunately for his roadside patient, he could do more than most. Fingers slick with alum ointment, he worked fervently to tie off a catgut cord, then brushed the injury with a light touch, that of the untrained eye. It would seem only as a friendly path, others would recognize the territorial hand gesture as a magical ward against infection. Done! Owen sighed, wiping his hand in the rusted west-colored cloth. No guarantees, though. The stitches may hold all the way to Lamont, and then again, push too hard and you could be bleeding like a stuck pig on a midsummer's. Ah, you did fine, Senor Locklear replied, smiling at Prue before ruling dynasty. It'll scar, but it's good for the noble's reputation. Let the kingdom folk know he isn't interrupting his laws for trusted the ladies. I'll be sure to look you up in the Tyborn if I ever need stitching up again. The boy accepted the compliment with a humble nod while he packaged away the rest of his medical supplies. His thoughts focused instead on the third man who slumped in the shadows across from him. Despite the manacles that bound the stranger's hand and the distance that separated them, the boy felt dreadfully exposed, his avenues of escape limited, so Locklear's elven nook prisoner decided to liberate him. What did he do? Owen whispered, jerking his head toward the man. Goliath! Let's just say he had his disadvantage of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, Locklear said cautiously. He snatched the greenish apple out of his knapsack, offering one to Owen. I have to take him to Krondor. Did he kill someone? Owen asked. No, he attacked you. The Senor wiped the apple juice from his mouth and shook his head. No, not exactly. Well, who could you up then? Before Locklear could reply, Gora, step forward, his chains ripping between his wrists like metallic vipers. Get out from underfoot, Olin! Assassin! In the camp! Do not struggle so, Hassett! I wish to keep you alive. But be glad I did not. The goddess of death will show you greater mercy. And there we have it. We are in the game. Yeah, so the ASD keys don't work in this. So you can use the arrow keys, or you can use the mouse and use this. So let's go up and examine the body that. Go out, check the corpse. Ah, no sense being squeamish, she said. Rifling through the rucksack which lay next to the body. Supplies are supplies, wherever you find them. This fellow won't be needing them anymore. Let's share. I believe you have the best lockpicking ability. So you can see here all his stats. We got Owen. Casting ability pretty good. Barding is fairly decent. And we have Gorath. We have 2 fighters and a spellcaster. Alright, so there is... Oh, that's before we do anything. Let's get this, there's another dude that will be appearing here. Go out there, we don't seem more distant. The Model warrior didn't appear grieved by killing the assassin that has followed them from the Northlands. His eyes had a baleful look in them. There seemed something between hatred and rage. Several times he glanced back at the corpse that lay behind them in the dust. His thoughts unguessable from his expression. Ah, do you wish to bury him? We can do that. It is not that way. I am simply known somewhat disturbed that he should come after me. He was a kinsman. There are other things that trouble me as well. Declan's assistants are slow, but not altogether stupid. Another like Asif, and you'll have a corpse to drag before your Prince Arutha. Ah, sign! No, you don't get out that easy. As long as you are under my command, you are forbidden to die, Model. I've gone too far and too much trouble keeping you alive to bury you now. It is time we took the chains off of you. It will be far easier for you to defend yourself if your hands are free to swing a sword again. You're not just going to set them free, are you? I thought you said he was a prisoner. Ah, he's my prisoner, Owen. But the circumstances are terribly complicated. Even if he chose to sneak off, he'd be lucky to make it to the next town alive. This is not the third. This is the third such assassin we've run into since we left the Northlands, and I have a feeling that more will be waiting for us. He'll be much safer with me, and I with him. Ah, as the boy would be if he would have whispered the wrong word in the wrong ear. He could be the death of us all. Me? Who am I going to talk to? I'm not even heading in the same direction. Ah, it wouldn't matter. Of who you talk to, Owen. There will be ears listening for word of a Model traveling with you and Noble. Domination, I should have thought about this when you entered the camp. For the time being, you're my squire, and once we arrive safely at the palace, you'll be free to go your own way. But I have pressing business in Tyburn. This is not the subject of debate. We must get to Krondor. My mission is of critical importance, and I don't have time to improvise an easy solution. The only other possible option would be to slit your throat and leave you dying. I have absolutely no desire to do that. Now let's get moving before Declan's assassins catch our scent again. They'll likely come looking when Hassett doesn't return from his mission. I think there'll be one more dialogue. No more dialogue? Okay. Yeah, let's go back. So this is where we get to explore every little thing. I'm not sure if anything's back here. Back here. So you can use the map, which shows you where you're at. And you can we have Lamat, Zan, Ox Hollow, Questor's View, Egli. Krondor is where we're heading for the main mission. Alright, Super Omni, I believe we're there for second chapter. Yeah, so this northern section up here will be blocked off. We won't be able to visit this. But I believe the rest of the southern part is all available to us. We won't be doing all of this in chapter 1. They'll probably head to Tier Sog And head down south here. Head through here. For this section. For Questers to Eggly and Teniers. Then back around. Not sure if I do this section down here or not, because we'll be heading to Romney second chapter, if I remember. Remember something 25 years ago? I played this game a lot. Especially the beginning. The beginning can be quite challenging. Especially chapter 2 and 3. But it gets easier as all your party members gain more XP. And more skills and stuff. Alright, yeah, so I'll go head up to Yabon. Alright, do I want to visit Lamont first or not? Let's just head north first, so we can always wrap back around. Which is why I said we were not going to be finishing chapter 1 this weekend. And it's probably spend a good portion of next weekend doing chapter 1, probably. We'll see how far we get. So we gotta keep exploring everything here. Yeah, Bon. We may need supplies. There's a shop here called the Crossroads where we might be able to pick up a few things. Otherwise, we should be cautious. Yeah, you don't get any warning on whether something's gonna pop up. Let's make a save. You can use this for bookmark now too. Alright, let's visit these houses. Alright. Luckily, Lord looked nervously around and quiet knock. Doesn't seem like anyone's about, he said. Luck's with us. A bell rang. No sooner had Luckily managed to get the door open than he found the shopkeeper was escorting him inside. Everywhere Lockyer looked, polished metal gleamed as much as the temple of Suwar as any temple of Sith. The tramp shop offered a startling variety of weapons and armor. We are not buying anything here. Struggling with a complicated elven buckle, Lockyer tried the breastplate on facade, too wide for him. The troll who nevertheless pleased with the clever filigrees and flying through the scroll pattern and designs to be decorative work, while also denying enemies even a striking plane. And you can also pixel hunt here sometimes to find different stuff. This one's not going to have anything like that. Lockyer knocked on the door. For a long moment, he leaned against the door frame and waited, positioning himself so he could listen to the sound of any stirrings inside. When at last it was evident that no one was coming, he stepped back with a shrug. That doesn't seem like anyone's about. Yes, betrayal at Krondor, yeah. We'll change it for next time. That's fine. I want to do one more thing. I'm gonna check one more thing. What we got? Yeah, we got crappy armor, crappy swords, no armor. Got rations, got one torch, one key. So I can select 3 skills to upgrade, obviously. You can see that lights up there. Melee, defense. Probably stealth. Casting. Stealth. And we'll do melee or defense. We'll start with defense. Hey there, the hercxena. Yeah, good luck. I've played this game before, so I kind of know what's going on. But it's been like 20 years since I played it last. But yeah, start with that. The stealth is gonna be important because it's all based on the person who has the least amount of stealth. It helps later on when we get into the bigger and tougher fights. I'll probably be swapping around these things in a bit. Defense and melee. And stealth. I think you gain stealth just by walking around, so shouldn't take long to build up the stealth. So what will happen is that once we get items to improve our weapons and armor, you can easily swap them. So it's not now once you choose them, you can choose multiples, but generally you want to keep it at 3 or so. Oh, you ran out of food. Yes, you gotta watch out your food. You gotta watch your food. Yeah, you know you can click on your bodies to get items and stuff. And usually they have food on them. As long as you're not resting too much, you shouldn't have a problem keeping up a stock of rations. Alright, we want to go this way. Oh, Locklear knocking the door. For a long moment, he leaned against the doorframe as he waited, positioning himself to listen for a sound of any stirring inside. When it was evident no one was coming, he stepped back with a shrug. Well, doesn't seem anyone's about. Won't be reading all that text all the time. I'll eventually stop. I'm just going to repeat the same things over and over again when there's nobody home. Hi, and open the door. The building appears to be abandoned. Hey, locked up on the top. Think we should take a shot opening it up? I can try picking it, but I don't guarantee success by any means, he said. So then you can go. I can try. Okay. Oh, there we go. Drag it. The lockmaker knew what he was doing, he said. Beyond my ability, I can't open it. Alright, I should keep some notes here. Yeah, bond. Locked door. I don't think we have any spells right now that will. Against chop chest. That's what we have right now. So I pointed to the house. I don't know. We've had. The next person. I know it's not a relative's house. Yeah, good enough. Good, I said. Turning his heels, he marched to the door, knocking lightly as Owen walked the street. After a few moments of a deceived-looking man answered the door. They talked for a short while and discovered the man had spent the better part of the night trying to break into a laundry shop that had recently gone out of business. "Oh, close up shop and never return the suit of armor I was having cleaned. If you can get in, there, it's all yours. I'm very tired. Excuse me, I'd like to go to sleep now." Alright, so, where's the armor? Armor. Again, the old game, so good idea to actually take notes. Places you visited that has clues or things you can't do right now. So you can come back later and do them. Check the map. It's getting dark out. Alright, let's head back over this way. And rest. No, I don't want to rest that long. Whoops. It could be dark soon again. Not necessarily different. It's just easier to see during the day. I don't. I think you have a chance of getting interrupted in your sleep at night too. Not mistaken. Head north. Yeah, that's the way Justin went ahead. I screwed up, but let's go back in here. This building creaked in a way that made Locklear nervous. "You stay here," he told her out. "Something doesn't feel right about this place. I'm gonna have a look around." When he returned a minute later, he had a grim look on his face. "What did you find?" "Yeah, there's an open chest lying on an empty work table. Look through it. It's been rigged with a system of tripwires and flints. The contents were no doubt explosive. Someone's been up to no good. It'd be best to leave it before they get back." Alright. Explosive. Alright, let's actually do this correctly. And that. I'll come to our first chest. let's save our game here. Rough in construction, the banded with iron, the model box would have been impossible to open without solving its woodlock. Gentleman a mark on the face of the chest. Others had learned that lesson after much difficulty. We have go out, scan the wound embossed on the model clue plate. This text, the only hope of opening the difficult woodlock. In all the world, none can compare to the tiny weaver, his deadly cloth, so silky and fair. Hey there, Don Blunt, welcome in. Alright. Keep in mind, I am not good with wood puzzles. I do have a list of the solutions if I can't figure it out. It'll probably be better to get this up on Notepad. It'll help to see all the letters. Alright, so we got C-A S and T. If anyone actually knows the answer or wants to guess, they feel free to yell out. Doesn't matter for this stream. S-P-I-D-E. Oh, it could be. S-P-I. There you go. Yeah, makes sense. Tiny weaver, spider. That makes a lot of sense. Probably would have figured that one out if I wrote down all the letters. Hey, look what you got. We got money. The shell sells for cash. Shades of blue and alabaster chase one another around the surface of this spiral shell, winding tighter and tighter until the colors become indistinguishable blur toward the center. While such shells are not entirely unique, they were sometimes collected and sold by poor peasants. And there's also a quality rating too, so obviously the higher the rating, the more money you can get. Alright, got some armor for you. Locklear swallowed hard, with heart pounding in his chest. He watched the enemy creep closer, fighting the urge to turn around and run like hell. He forced himself to remain calm, forced himself to show no fear, despite the feeling of near panic that threatened to overwhelm him. Oh, he's running away. Pound him submission. I think he dropped the crossbow here, I think. We're gonna miss him. I don't want to turn off auto combat. We're not gonna get this guy. Oh, we got him. The battle is won. Search the body for supply, Doctor suggested. The men, but make it quick. There's some more waiting out there. Let us not be here when they return. For beginning fights, it's not gonna really matter. But for later fights, definitely will make a big difference. We just get creamed because the AI is not that good. So look at the rations. You can see here spoiled, so we don't want to take those. So we got broadsword, 88%. So both of those are better. I'll grab the sword for now. Alright, let me go north. We'll go east here, I think. Yeah, I want to go east. See anything back there. Let's continue. That's the guy we just did. Let's continue to head east. Alright, nothing back here. Let's head south. There's a house. The face of the door was covered with a pattern. Strange semicircle formed the oily black smudges that joined the iron door latch. On closer examination, it seems the smudges were actually fingerprints of some kind. I really should have cleaned, I suppose. Locklear jerked upright at the sound of gruff voice, pattering from all around the corner of the house. A balding man stepped next to Goliath and held up a palm stained with black ink. A scribe tends to make quite a mess. Occupational hazard? Scribe, among other things, he said. Currently, I have accepted a commission on behalf of a traveling merchant to do a survey of all the mercantile boxes in the area. He cast an only look at Goliath. Perhaps to be interested in helping. Yeah, and what will we profit of it? Goliath said quietly. Information, the scribe replied. I've acquired a book I think you'll find very interesting. There's a box just west of Hawks Hollow on the southern side of the small hill. Find out what's in that box, and I'll give you the book. Now leave me. I have much work to do. So where exactly are we? You can't put notes in here. Like halfway. Alright, halfway east of Yabon. Find what's in box. What was that place called again? I think it was Hawks Hollow, I think it's called, which is somewhere down here. Yeah, Hawks Hollow. Alright, let's go ahead. Where you can't escape. He's trapped. He's not going anywhere. I believe if you right click, you can swing. Game of always misses. Owen's doing a better job than everybody else. The battle is won! Search the body for supplies, Lockyer suggested, then amended. But make it quick! There are more waiting out there. Let's not be here when they return. Another peasant's key. Battle armor. Alright, let's head north. Maybe find anything here? No. A bird shot in the sky, searching the landscape, the source of the animal with discomfort, Goliath whispered. I think we might be doing our paying attention to that little creature. Whatever started it may be close at hand. If we continue the direction we are currently heading, I suggest we do so with great caution. Alright, check the map. Alright, building. Looking for supplies. Rations. Also, if we check out, we did not upgrade anything here. We need to change this to defense. Usually, I think it tells you when you combat if you gain stats increases. There's trouble ahead! I'm gonna pinpoint the source and then die immediately. Luckily, I mentioned urgent hope. Be wary! We may have wandered into a trap! Alright. So let's go. If you hit the R key, you can skip your characters. But only one person needs to get through the trap. You control the thrust with the left mouse button, and you can do a swing with the right mouse button. Swing has less accuracy to hit. Obviously, you do more damage, depending on the weapon. It also reduces your stamina too. So, yeah, use this is an easy trap. The battle was won! Sort the body for supplies. Hey, we got that model brooch. By the look of it, this mountain light silver brooch has been meant to be a cloak fastener jewelry part of a larger piece of jewelry. Crude by kingdom standards. The model brooch could still demand a reasonable price in the right shops. The model lamprey. A universal weapon, the model lamprey was poor, in perfect balance, well-weighted weapon, unwieldy weight, made it classically difficult to control close quarters and challenging for the shorter limb kingdom soldiers to use. I give you stats, Alf, so our good friend Gorath can use it. So if we compare that with this, plus 10 skill. But you don't have that, so that will be better, I think. It's slightly less accurate. Alright. What we got here? The corn was too young. The score was eerie pick. Luckily, shrugged his shoulders. Eating this would just make us sick. Let's move on. There has to be a reason why there was a trap here. Oh. Oops. Alright, let's go ahead. Rest for the night. Okay. I don't think there's anything here. Yeah, you took everything from him. Let's go. Back in here. 300 pounds! That madman answered the door. The greasy-looking farmer said to himself, tossing up Lockley at a single glance. Shall I know that some kind of stranger who had the baby's responsible? Or what? Lockley was prompted. Don't play stupid with me. You've been keeping me up for the last 10 nights with those rockets to the west. Lockley shook his head. I'm afraid there's been a mistake. Really, we'll be leaving you alone now. Grumpy old farmer here. Yeah. No, it's just behind the house. No. All right. Let's continue. Oh, we have a bridge. Something over there. All right, that's save. So we can't go in the water here. Okay. Oh, look at that. Not too far away, but there's some dudes there we're gonna have to kill, I think. Maybe not gonna do. Maybe there's just stuff. Oh, the gravestones. Oh, Dudding! No one knew when he came or when he went. So the Locklear said, "Should we dig up this grave?" No. We don't have any shovels anyway, so let's save. Locklear gritted his teeth while they agreed that this box should be opened. He was probably concerned the previous owner might have left some unpleasant surprise. Alright, so we got lucky, I guess. I'm gonna go back across the bridge and go to the north here, make sure there's nothing up this river. Check out the map. If you avoid tires solve completely. which we really don't want to do here. Yeah, it's dark. I can't see very well. Alright, let's on Marcus gravestone outside the that's gonna be, where's that place called again? Theosog. Alright, we got here. Nothing back there, so I'm not going to continue. That'll take us obviously back to the. That gets back to the main road, which we don't want to go right now. We have the next town here. Nothing back there. Are these brown buildings or always could be shops? One town. We got the Three Human Pond. This shop is littered with cast off, forgotten trinkets, lost items, which few will want or need to be claimed. Here seemed to be tarnished and rust, but things that were prized, the crumbling items which they clung to only as secondary value. Here's the practice loop. Only 2 sovereigns and 8 royals. Right. Ooh, 37 sovereigns. Alright, 2 sovereigns and 5 royals. So you're going to sell certain things at certain shops. Ring of Krondor. Many characters unlocked here had seen similar things used by visiting magicians to cast spells to lighten darkened rooms. While he couldn't be certain by appearances alone, the ring he held was the same purpose. The reference seems to be the god of light and the fire in his name. Seems a good indicator. This is 24 gold just for one of these. It'd be expensive. Novel. Although immediately obvious, the shopkeeper had never doubted the half of the price. Luckily, pressed on, praying that the natural charm would win him a cheaper price. For a short time, it seemed the victim was eroding, but the last shopkeeper rapped shortly on the counter. Enough, shopkeeper! Buy at my price or off be with you. Although immediately obvious, shopkeeper had no desire to hike the price. Owen pressed on, praying that the natural charm wouldn't have took a price. Oh wow, and unavailable after the first. You exit, come back in. Yeah. You can always get a better haggle skill by just keep going back and forth. I think we try that. I need to exit out of here first up. Yeah, no hacking skills. Whoops, I meant to hit. They can, tears sparked in the shopkeeper's eyes. That's, I mean, fine, I suppose I could put off buying that medicine for another week or two. You truly are a gentleman. That would be 27 sovereigns, demanded the shopkeeper. I'll go again. Alright, so you can... Well, it takes like a lot, so it would take forever to, 27. Oh, I got 22 silver left. Can't buy anything else. Alchemy didn't go up. Let's go with um 91. Oh, I didn't set the skill up. But yeah, you keep doing that, you'll gain skills more readily. If I go and change defense to armor craft, for example, transfer this over. There we go. 30, I think. Gives you 30. We'll find a whole bunch more in the world on random bodies that you kill later on. You really shouldn't have to buy too many of them. A woman was on her way out. I really can't stop to talk, she said while tying an apron around her waist. My husband, Ethan, just taken off another of his scavenging ships for the 3 hillmen. I need to watch the place for him. He's always coming back with people armfuls of stuff that people have lost or just job places. Come by sometime. In a few minutes, she hurried out of my sight. A man tumbled outside. Oh, mate! How Undertaker? Who kicked it? He said, after the minute. I mean, who has departed to the other side? Oh, you don't sound like you believe in life after death. The only thing living alive is going on in the graveyards is thanks to the living, he said with a chuckle. Only last month I was talking to the grave digger who tended the mutt yard. He told me someone's gone in the yard and dug up a new grave. He had no idea who's under the stone. Why didn't you go dig it up and see, Lockermouth? He tapped his head. He's afraid the shade will get him. Supernatural humble, if you ask me. What's dead stays dead. Never seen a ghost in my life. Goodbye, gents. Alright, let's abandon. I don't have a crossbow yet. They enter the cheery common room. As if grown floorboards themselves, a middle-aged man appears on the spot, and he shows them a table next to a roaring hearth. Jeffrey, under the tavern, he says with a pleasant smile. Might interest you in some food today? Sure. Tavern keeper smiled. Splendid, he said. What would you like? Taro. I'm going to haggle on this. Maybe you can't haggle food. Although it gives you the option, so I assume you can haggle food. Oh. Or maybe you need higher skill. Alright, let's get this. Sheriff's party. Okay, let's go ahead. Save. I'll check the big map here for a second. I thought you couldn't go up north. Maybe it's up this side here. I believe it would stop up here. A horn sounded in the Incadale. Immediately, several additional notes echoed the first passed on the bend of the canyon while shadows begin to appear upon the length of the defile. Rising in from behind the rocks and the ditches, a dozen scattered men responded to Krondor, apparently at the mouth of a previously unnoticed cave. A 40-ish-looking gentleman lumbered down from the hiding, and seeing that his guards weren't needed, he whistled for the dismissal.
Oh, you don't want to be here.
Well, I didn't expect you to be back this way so soon, senor. I actually wondered if you were going to make it any place at all. Cut up as you were. What's your company, Lieutenant Finn? Why aren't they standing guard at the pass? Well, I do respect, senor. We're digging ourselves out of a pretty mess presently. Not long after you and the Model trounced through here, a white screamer came up out of nowhere. Worst snowstorm I've seen in 16 years. 10 miles down on the dale, the path is buried under 5 feet of snow. I sent out guard to help with our forward positions, but I'm not positive they can do, but kind of like lightning your pipe into the bitter sea. There's no way to get through the Infidel at all? No, unless you're a snow-burning mole or a fire drake, no sir. Whoever may be in the northlands of the kingdom, they got a long way in their hands if they need to get down this road. Well, that's it then. We'll have to turn back. Take care, Lieutenant. Yeah, so we got blocked off. Alright, so alright, so we're gonna go to Lowry next. Yeah, so we can probably visit all along this coast all the way down, but we're just gonna make a Take a beeline here. Should be good. Let's put this on defense. Should be good. Oh yeah, I forgot how that boarding loot now. Head south. Alright, let's go. Sure, there's nothing hidden back there. I don't have anything good. Alright. This is going to be a tough fight. I typically just do thrust, but you can do swings, but you see the accuracy drop to do more damage, but you also lose stamina. You can get stamina back by resting. Oh, we took a hit there. One drop. Opia sucks. He's not hitting anything. 68% and he hasn't hit anything yet. There you go. Ow. Now we can cast let's go and I need line of sight, which I don't have. Yeah, we got him. Alright, that was probably our toughest fight yet. It took a little bit of a beating there. Look at all the cash. Rations. These are good. Share at the party. Yeah, I probably can't take all this armor with me. Yeah, I'm out of room. And more good rations. I'll probably drop these. I haven't found anything to sharpen weapons yet. Like that. I think I got all the corpse. Yep. The skills level up? Not yet. That's probably to get at least 1 point and something. Uh, the boarding went up. Nope. There you go. Boarding went up by 1%. There you go. Alright, that's rest. Health and stamina. There you got all your health. Okay, let's go make a save. That was a tough fight there. So let's make a save. Let's continue here. I don't think there's anything back here. We really haven't found any place to do barding. It's another encounter up here. They agreed to attack, going over the plan. They said quickly as possible, locking your lady, a simple strategy. What's that then, he said. Let's just hope our advance is undetected, or our advantage will be lost. Krondor shook his head and then owned this brief. Yes, that is the group that we picked out, he said. Will you listen before? Now be quiet and stick to the plan, or we'll lose our advantage. They've seen us. Ow. Team. Alright. Ow. Alright. just saved it, so. He's dead. Yeah, we got him. Hey, the party's abilities have increased, finally. We got the first increase. Defense went up. I don't know how the defense went up. I didn't even click on defense. But I guess it goes up slowly, even if you don't use it. No melee, though. Olin. Yeah, melee went up. Yeah, 29%. So we can, probably use this. That's probably increase the armor there. No room. Swap that over. That gives you 88%. Alright, that is good. Alright, call out the armor craft ability has increased. Up to 42%. Alright, we got some rations. Chill. Not gonna go too crazy with the armor smith thing. Yeah. But we do need the rest. I got 2 stamina now. We can rest another day. We got plenty of food here, I think. Um, 8, 4 and 14. They got plenty of food. That should be better. They got some stamina now. Alright. Let's go. We can save. Looks like they were not guarding anything. Not over here. That's just the under the water going under the mountain. Alright, let's continue here. South. We can't go through the... There's an invisible wall. We're going to continue here. where are we here on the map? There's a house back there. No, we're getting close to the L'Oreal. We go north, I think. Oops. Okay, I gotta go to the other side of the little hill here. A little temple, I think. Incense swirls darting between columns of the temple, luckily made for heavy wooden doors, but then had been sealed against the daylight, which was preserve the privacy of any ceremonies in progress. Holding a tasseled rope which hung next to the door, he awaited response at the door warden. Temple of Ashap. The meditation chamber was spotted and strangely cold, seemingly over the quarter for the heatless flame which burned in the holy censer. The only vow which had been made to adornment in the temple appeared to be the strange pattern that had been etched upon the wall. The fire was cold, unnerved by the unnatural flame. Lockley decided to explore elsewhere. The design was odd. I see the mandala interests you. Turning, Locklear noticed a young man standing in the archway, his hands hidden in the folds of his robe. Wow, the relation between the temples and the new Academy of Magic at Stardock have been cool. It is one of the treasures they have passed on to the Tazari magic, giving us a great mobility. Mobility! Locklear asked. How can a painting help you move? The acolyte smiled. It would be easier to explain with an example. Tell me about a place you're familiar with. A place where you spent a good deal of time. Locklear shrugged, describing the place he had grown up. The layout of the room, the various things that triggered his own. Very good, the man replied. How you describe those things to me? Doubtlessly you're to experience certain memories through which you were able to relive your past. In the same way, these mandalas help locate a place. By memorizing a pattern painted on the wall for a specific temple, we may will ourselves there. I could think my way home with this. No. The memory of your home will be too unfocused for you to make an attempt. If you were to memorize this pattern, you could return here by recalling its image in your mind when assisted by the power of another temple. Locklear looked back at the mandala, lost in thought for a moment, his eyes soaking up the intricacies of it. I assume there will be some fee associated with moving between locations? The acolyte nodded. As simple as it is in concept, it still requires a great deal of effort to move even a single individual. Though I am told the Sarari Great Ones move with less effort. Our buddy Pug wish to restrict our knowledge of this in some ways until we are proven we will not abuse its power. A bell sounded. Abruptly a dark-robed priest swept into the room and came to a halt behind Locklear. I was alerted that you might desire to use the mandala. Desire, perhaps, but I haven't seen any other symbols, Locklear said. I don't suppose you could go with us? I regret I cannot assist you, the priest said. My duties require I stay here to guide the others that wish to arrive. I am sorry. Locklear pulled the curtain aside. The rear section of the temple was as dramatic as was the meditation chamber. A large pool occupied the center of the lush courtyard and was hemmed on all sides by an alabaster peristyle with climbing vines. Clustered immediately off into the open area were several arches, doorways, either blocked by heavily woven curtains or choked with clouds of obscuring incense. Nearby a gong sounded. Immediately a priest hurried out the doorway, halting and caught sight of the unexpected supplements. Thus, lock your church is back. Which one of your items would you like best today? A priest asked. Carefully, he laid the broadsword on a low table, covered in a white cloth, as he opened a book which he retrieved from a cluttered bookshop. Flipping through the tasseled pages, he found a column of numbers and ran his fingers down. I always wondered why the price of a blessing varied from item to item, Lockyer said, watching the priest. Does that have something to do with the gods? Rather, it's more to do with how the item is made, the priest explained. If there is any special metal used in its construction or spell used to bend the metal, then they become factors in how difficult it will be for us to make a blessing stick. Leaning closer to the page, he stabbed the figure. Ah, here it is. For your broadsword, there will be 33 saffrons and 4 oils. No. Not right now. Talk. Okay. So, the priest then bid them farewell. Leaving the lushness of the central courtyard, they passed through this deserted meditation chamber. So now we'll be able to go back to this location once we find another teleporter. But I don't think you really need a teleporter in the first chapter. Alright. Reach the town. It's home. Nobody's home. Oh, the bell rang. No sooner Lafayette managed to get to the door, but he found the shopkeeper was escorting him inside. Ah, Kingdom Goods. We can sell our stuff here. No, 80% hold on to that. Not to sell this. For a moment he thought he discarded his broadsword. His bulk wearisome from bear and body seemingly more dubious than he acquired it. On the balance, however, he realized he had other methods to strip himself of his defenses at a time when he needed most needed them. Alright, 4 sovereigns and 9 royals. We can swap our weapons. I have no use for it as an item. I can't sell that. So there we go. Emptied our inventory. Probably come back here again before we head off. Got the money now too. Do need to find a sharpening stone for my weapons though. The house's occupant was talkative, careful not to divulge any details about the trip. Lafayette steered the conversation towards the townspeople. Everyone here is fine folks, except for the Michelle the healer. We're not planning to visit her. Why? Lafayette asked. She's a stink, he said. Told me I was gonna die. But you know what? I got better. Oh, I felt horrible enough for 3 or 4 days. Thought I was going to die, but now I made it through and alive. I tell you. I think she and Orno, the pair, have some kind of deal. He's giving them some kind of contagion, and then she's administering some kind of phony medicine. It's indecent. The door opens slightly, peering in without opening the door all the way. Thin man, rubbed steam from his eyes. I am not open for business right now. We have to come back later, he said. Business, glancing down the side of the house. Locklear looked for a sign of seeing a non-written evidence. What do you sell? Oh, I'm a gem dealer. Kiefer Ellis cook, but I don't have anything in stock right now, except for irritation. It's likely to be several weeks before I get anything again, so go away, please. Before Locklear could say another word, Kiefer closed the door. Where was the, Oh, this is the Kingdom's Goods, okay. Like I said, which one was, which building did I actually click on? Okay. Alright. Let's see here. We're heading down to Hawks Hollow, and then we have our quest still. Alright, not too much around here. Alright, time to rest. We got here. We got some more buildings. One building here. Got no chest or anything back here. Let's save. A piece of paper dangling up from the doorknob. Oh gosh, Revolution, avoid contact with Orno. The only one is Orno the Pale. Locklear read aloud. A contagion known proportion has already led with the illness of 3 people. Avoid any contact with. Door swings open. Him. Locklear straightened himself as haggard-looking man in his mid-20s appeared in the doorway, his face covered with a bloody handkerchief. Oh, you are Orno? Yes! He wheezed through his handkerchief. And you're on my doorstep. Get away before you get yourself infected. What's wrong with you? The man shook his head. I don't know. Doctors don't know. Priests don't know. Nobody knows. Only person to survive is Michelle the healer, but she's a ways off in Loyal. I see, Locklear said. Well, I'll be off now. Sorry I bothered you. Again, the man nodded. I sure will be. I sure of it. The one to speak of it. Seeing the glazed looks in each other's eyes and sickly pallor each had begun to exhibit, it was more than obvious they had fallen prey to a violent plague. Silently, Locklear hoped they would reach the temple soon before they all died of it. Ah, great. I gotta find this healer first. Gotta find that healer. Wait. Oh. Alright. Alright, let's cast a spell here. We'll move you here. Oh, he's gonna go the other way. You need to be able to hit this guy. Hit him! There we go. Alright. Party's accuracy and melee ability has increased. Ooh. Elven armor. So this would be armor for you. Struggling with the complicated elven buckle, Gorath tried his best played on for size, too wide for him at the shoulders. He's nonetheless pleased with the clever filigree and fine fluted schoolwork, pattern designed to be decorative while also denying enemies an even striking plane. Alright, let's go down to the south a little bit further, but I think we can find that healer. The Royale is up north, right? No, not wrong about that. There we go, yeah. Another inlet over there. Oh, we see we got over here. Oh. They agreed to attack. We're set then. The enemy was waiting for them. They've seen us. Ow. Alright, let's gain some health. Ow! Ow! We're gonna get wrecked here. I think we're gonna have our first death. The Gorath was dead. Gorath is dead. And yeah, you lose a lot of Accuracy when you're injured. You might as well just try to run away. You can't abandon your friends in death. Luckily, gasp, pain, seeping his strength as he was unable to rise from the ground, but dimly he perceived his attacker moving closer, perhaps to finish him off. Perhaps for some other less savoury purposes. Bastard! Locklear whispered, vision beginning to dim. Limbs cracked, but I curse you! Death came swiftly. Alright! We have our first death. Alright, let's that battle was pretty tough. Oh, that's probably where the healer is, I bet. Ambushers. We're definitely gonna bring this guy in because he has that elven armor. So let's go bring him in. You going nowhere, buddy. Alright. Then they kill this guy. Through 2. Alright. Melee increased. 50%. More arrows. So this is 25%. 15, so yeah, this is gonna be better. Can't make it any better, so. Alright, yeah, we're gonna save before we do this fight again. We'll come to our first tough fight of the game. Alright, let's do that and make a save. Oh, luckily it's not gonna make sense. Ow! I don't think I have any spells. Can't cast any spells right now. Yeah, these guys have better defense too. Gorath is getting wrecked right now. Oh boy. You guys have a lot of health too. Gorath hasn't done anything yet. And Gorath falls to the ground. Oh, I might survive this. Ugh. Locklear is doing pretty good, but probably not gonna save after this. A gasp escaped Gorath's lips as he lowered himself into the upright position and looked over his wound. I think I'll amend the plan, Gorath said. My wounds are mortal. You go on without me. No one gets left behind, Locklear shouted back angrily. No one, do your thing and we can move. We'll find a healer for you along the way who can help. So now, if we look at Gorath, near death 100%. So he is extremely weak right now. But he got an increase in defense. Melee went up. Defense and melee. He's near death as well. So that's too much. That's going to be too much to take care of. Let's see if I can get items on him. If you don't have any restore items on here, then yeah, not gonna be good. Let's see who's back here. Just to see if my prediction is right. Oh, there's nobody back here. There's just a side encounter with some tough dudes. I don't see anybody here. Here somewhere, anything? There's nothing back here. So there's like nothing here. Just a battle with some tough dudes. Don't even give out good stuff. Good for XP, obviously. I'm trying to find the healer. Yeah, we're probably dead here. We're trapped. Alright, let's load the game back in. So, don't really have much of anything I can do right now. Seven. I don't think you can repair that. Try taking this. Want to drink it? There we go. Alright. Try that. You got more stamina. How did the melee increase? You didn't even do anything. Alright, yeah, let's give this a shot, see how it goes. Luckily you charge forward, caught off guard. The opponent scrambled around helplessly before finally squaring off in defensive position. Exploring their momentary advantage, Locklear bugged several quick commands and prepared to join the battle. I don't have any attack spells. Alright. Oh, why don't I, let's move you back here. I'm not sure how the spell works if you blind and then hit them. Oh, he's attacking again. Alright, he's blind here. Kind of cheesy here, but I think it's gonna work. I can rest, get some. Hey, where do you think you're going, buddy? Where do you think you're going? Alright, we won. Yeah, well, it's definitely a tough battle, though. Yeah, Gorat's defense ability went up. Nobody else's stuff went up. Alright, got good rations, so share. I don't know where we're going to get two of these guys, I think. There's one landing on top of the other. 9. Sometimes you go from a different angle, you can get. I think since they landed on top of one another, you can't really get. Even though you see 3 different bodies here, I got items from 2 bodies. Limitation of the engine, if I'm not mistaken. Probably from a different angle, but I think. Not gonna matter. They're gonna make it worse. On the side, I read the verse about preferring the following. He decided to take what the goddess of luck had given him. However, immortal he might feel about it, he was certain his stomach would quickly decide to good if he found a bit of food to eat. Is somebody out of food? The rations are still good. Rations will go bad after a while. They'll spoil. Yeah, I think we can safely say that we're gonna get 2 bodies of goodies. Alright, that's best. I think we'll make a save here, I think. I should make a hard save here. Let's go. I want to save in a bookmark. Oh, I got something up here. Something had been buried under the dirt. The hole is not big enough to put a man in, so it's safe to assume it's in the grave, Locker said. Might be a secret cache of food or supplies. Let's go look. Nice. Money. Okay. horse stopped and bent down and examined something on the ground. After several seconds, he stood and began to speak. There are wagon tracks in the ground here, but something's not right. They look fairly old, but the marks are too thin. Ordinary wagon wheels are about, say, 6 inches. These couldn't be more than 3. There could be an ambush ahead. We proceed in the direction we are currently heading. We should do so with great caution. No, we did not find that healer. You. He's dead. Wow, lots of actions. Share with the party. Got some kingdom armor. I could probably head back and sell this stuff. Let's see what we're on the map. Yeah, so we're gonna head to Hawks Hollow. Let's get back up to Lario and sell our stuff. Oh, there's another battle here. To avoid getting creamed by the traps, let's Alright. Okay. Hey, we got some money here. We got 5 of these from you. Got that to sell. I think this is where we fought those big nasty guys. Alright, head north. We gotta find that healer. I don't know where she's at. I think I missed her somewhere. This guy, right? Alright, this is where we want to go. But the shops are only open during the day. Oh, this must be the plague guy. So let's go ahead and rest here. Oh, I think I got this chest. Alright, let's save. Alright, we have our second box here. You will invite him into your house, yet you know him not. Once you get to know him, the thing he will no longer be. Oh, great. Alright. C and an S. P. And an A. Alright. So we got O. S. A. E. F. I. We got R, got I, got an S, P, an A, an L, and a T. We have a T and an E and another T. N. E. 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 Alright, one more section of letters here. H. R. D. R. G. S. R. Alright, so you will invite him into your home, yet you know him not. Once you get to know him, the thing he will no longer be. Oh, I think it sounds like wind or something, but no, that's right. Letters and long word. You invite him into your house. Not vampire either. There's no V. What do you invite into your house, but you do not know? You invite him into your house, yet you not know him not. Once you get to know him, the thing he will no longer be. Invite, and it changes who he is, or it. It refers as him, as like it's a male thing. Yeah, this one's probably gonna be a harder one. Spirit. There's no R. I think with a longer word, it would be a little bit easier to figure this out. You should be able to make like a smaller word out of it, maybe. Unless it's one of these awkward words. Maybe something with EED, maybe? Alright, So... Nothing's jumping out at me here. I don't know anything with that many letters that you would not know when you invite them into your house. Oh, I think I know what it is. Stranger, perhaps? Oh, yes. There we go. Hey, we got first Wheatstone there. All right. All right. I'm crafting up to 51. And then we want weapon craft. So we'll go and just want to Change this to weapon craft. Six. I doubt we can do anything with this one. I got a little bit more out of that. Okay. How many you got left? I got 11. Yeah, luckily weapon craft has increased. Alright, 46%. Alright, let's keep heading up north, back so we can sell all this garbage. Oh, we might be dead here. This is another up group. Doesn't be like it's spawning enemies in here. There we go. Ow. Alright, we can actually can't do anything yet. Let's rest up here. I got like 11 health. Whew, that was a tough fight. Alright, so we got some money. Can't take any of these other items because we don't have any more room for them. Got spoiled rations. We don't want to take those with us. Oh, another whetstone. Yes, please. Spoiled rations. And you can repair your stuff every battle. Wait, better put this one in now. Alright, so we got skills up, we got weapon craft, and more strength. You got nothing. And you got more weapon craft and melee. That goes the wrong way potentially. No, I'm going the right way. Okay. There you go. Alright, should be here somewhere. South of me, I think. Whoops. Save, I guess. I think it's gonna need to go up north more. Yeah, we need to go up north more. Like, what's good for? Good for XP, right? You're getting skills and stuff. Not sure how to raise my stealth though. There we go. Not interested in doing business, alright. Oh yeah, I forgot you could. There's more items that we can get to. Strategies and trading. Oh, let's go sell that. Sovereigns. Let's go. I don't think you can sell this. Oh, you can? Alright. Hey there, what's your score? Welcome in. Yes, this is Betrayal Krondor. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit early. There's no use starting another RPG with only one weekend left, so we're starting it early. Definitely be enough Betrayal Krondor to last the entire month of December. Let's sell all this. Oh, you can't sell those. Alright, sell that. Alright. 131 gold. Ugh. Crossbows. Good on weapons, armor. Yeah, I remember too. I actually owned this game when it came out. It's like one of the first RPGs I ever beat. I should say first PC RPG. I did play like Dragon Warrior 1 and Final Fantasy 1, which came out before that to beat. Alright, good. Do we need to buy any, do we have armor's hammer too? Let's buy one for each. That's 16 uses left. Should probably buy another one of these. Well. Alright, exit. Let's Oh, you just don't like the barter with me, do you? So I might not be able to barter with this guy. I don't know if how control goes up if you just even if you fail. Look, well, that's the ability went up, so I guess whoever, it doesn't matter who haggles. So you get 10% now. So you can raise up your skills. Oh, I don't like the choking one. My children will understand. They've gone 8 months without shoes, and they're strong girls. Got thick feet. Another week or two won't hurt them. Like say like 2 royals. It works out. Just out of curiosity if we can get this for any cheaper. I'm probably gonna save like a couple bucks. I need more money before I buy this. It's very hard to haggle with this guy. Hey there, Sundar, your haggling went up too? That's good. Let's come back here later for this. Let's try one more time. Doesn't look like any haggling out of this. Going for a long time without raising the price or lowering the price or him being too pissed off. Alright. The party's haggling ability increased. So you got what, 36? Oh, you only got 28%. Interesting. So I think from different shopkeepers you get different haggling amounts. Which is interesting to note. Alright, let's go ahead and save our game here. And that will be it for today. We'll be back tomorrow around 1 o'clock, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, we'll continue with more Betrayal of Krondor. And we'll keep exploring around this world. We still have a few things to do. We have a quest that we'll be coming up upon that we'll be doing. And we're going to try to find that healer for the plague. and see if we can resolve that quest as well. So that will be two things we'll be doing next stream. So yeah, let's exit out of here. So let's go find somebody to raid. We'll see if anybody is doing any DOS games at the moment. And we'll raid somebody from there. Let's see if anybody's playing anything cool here. Yeah, why don't we go say hi to Cartube? He's playing some Blood Witch. So we're gonna go and go check him out. Blood Witch, I never actually played that, but it definitely looks cool. Looks like a very old wizardry style game. But yeah, we're gonna check out Cartube. So yeah, take care. Have a good night. Yeah, if you are not already, please do feel free to follow me here on Twitch and Twitter, Discord, and YouTube. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and raid Cartube. And yeah, so take care, enjoy, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. And we'll play some more Betrayal Krondor.